need you guys in the frame.
All right, get over here. All together now.
So pretty much the way to start is, how'd you get started playing music?
When we were kids, my dad played bluegrass. We had these big bluegrass sessions in our house.
Oh, nice.
And it was just the thing to do, and everybody would come in and switch instruments, and there'd be different singers, and everybody had these really nice acoustic guitars, and I guess that you called them picking, and they'd pick their ass off, and I thought it was just the coolest thing. And when I started to learn how to play guitar, I realized how tough bluegrass was, how hard it was going to be, so I started playing rock music.
Nice.
And I started playing when I was about 8 years old. My brother and I started playing, and I got a Series 10 guitar and learned to talk dirty to me while boys.
Oh, nice.
It was over. That was it. It was on.
Nice.
End of story, huh?
Yeah, it was on after that.
Nice. When were you in your first band?
11. I was in a
11.
band when I was 11 years old, and it's the same guys.
Oh, nice.
We're all from this little tiny town in West Virginia, and we all played together. And,
Nice.
Blessed by God.
oh yeah, absolutely. You ever see the Wonderful Whites of West Virginia? I know all those people. That's my place.
Nice.
But yeah, it was the same guys. Jared and Tommy and my brother and I and Chris, the guitar player. We've all been playing since I was about 11 years old.
Oh, nice.
We weren't worth a shit then. But got
Gotta
better.
start somewhere,
I
man.
remember playing Knocking on Heaven's Door for an entire song. A little tiny amp that wasn't even louder than the drums. It was,
Hour-long 12-bar jams.
Our poor neighbors. They were cool about it. I remember one time this old man that lived there, he passed away, but he came over and said, "Can you just play it? Just try another song." It's like, it's loud, it's fine, just play something else.
Just not the same thing
And I was
anymore.
like, all right, Knocking on Heaven's Door again.
That's funny you mentioned that about the neighbors, because years later, when I moved down here from New York, and I went back to visit, and I saw my old neighbor, and she's like, "Oh, Robbie, I missed them damn drums."
Right.
'Cause there was three of us. I don't know how my poor mother dealt with it.
It's love. It's got to be love.
Yeah.
His dad did the Louis Prima records.
Yep.
Oh,
They
yeah?
never got credit for it.
Right,
No,
right,
it was
right.
a contract gig.
Welcome to the music industry.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Well, back then, you go in Monday morning to the musicians union, you get your work for the week.
Yeah.
It was all contract. But,
Who are your inspirations?
I like a lot of stuff. Anymore, I don't hate on any kind of music. I listen to anything now, but one of the bands that changed my life was probably Pink Floyd. I remember getting a Pink Floyd record. It was actually a record on vinyl.
Yeah.
And just like the first time I got stoned, I was like, this is amazing. And I remember
Wish
when,
You Were Here was mine for Floyd.
oh yeah, Appetite for Destruction was one of those
God,
records.
yeah.
When I was so young, and I remember getting the original artwork with the robot scene, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
They had
yeah.
it removed
Yeah.
from the front.
Yep.
That was one of my favorite records. That changed my life. I remember getting the tape and playing it where both sides were wore out.
Since you mentioned Appetite, how many copies have you been through?
Oh, probably 9 or 10.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody.
Yeah. And then Tool
Everybody
came
you come
out.
across.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tool, yeah.
And it was over with. And it was one of my favorite bands.
Love those guys. Used to play Swamp Song in a band.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Love
Not
those
not
guys.
easy stuff to cover.
No, not at all.
No.
But we nailed it, surprisingly. I don't know how. Luck, I guess.
But I really got into everything. Just remember the big albums that changed my life were Metallica was one of them. Megadeth was one of the bands that I was just like, this is
Love
just
Megadeth.
crazy. Guns N' Roses. My brother's a big Motley Crue fan. I love Motley Crue, but I'm more a Guns N' Roses guy.
Yeah.
And Pink Floyd I had every Pink Floyd record ever made and stuff that just wild shit. It sounds like crazy ass old Beatles and shit like that.
Do you believe the theory that Dark Side of the Moon was written for Wizard of Oz?
You know what? Those guys were so out there. It's possibility.
Good possibility.
Yeah. I mean,
It syncs up a little too well.
It does. I mean, those guys are crazy. I've read all those books and watched all the documentaries and shit. And they used to give people acid when they walked through the door. And
Oh, nice.
like when you bought a Pink Floyd ticket, you'd walk in and you got a sugar cube of acid. And they would never play their hits because they were just
No wonder everybody
bastard
loved
British.
Floyd shows.
Yeah, right.
Don't remember anything, but so you said you guys started your own label now.
Yeah, BFX Records, which stands for Bobaflex Records.
Nice.
And it's the smartest thing we ever have done. We were on TVT Records, which was Seven Dust.
Yeah.
Like they had Little John, Yin Yang Twins, and Nothing Face. And they had some really good bands, and they went bankrupt, like so many other labels are going right now.
Yeah.
And that was rough to get out of. When a record label goes bankrupt, not even the bankruptcy attorneys know what's going on. So for about 2 years, we just sold T-shirts and toured the country to pay attorneys.
Plus now you own the rights to everything.
Absolutely. And just the way the music industry is now, it's scary. Like to have gone through a bankruptcy of a label that you thought, you know, was the biggest independent label in the world. You know what I mean? And TBT Records was.
Yeah.
They were huge, and to go through a bankruptcy with the label was scary to even think about signing with one of the majors because they're all dropping off and, you know. All the people that's been
so
there for
hard
years
nowadays,
are all,
yeah.
you know, laid off and all that stuff, and it's just like we just kind of didn't want to go that route. And we started BF Records ourselves, and we met everybody. We went to radio ourselves, and we did a distro deal with Megaforce, so we got our CD in stores and everything. It's the best thing we've ever done. We hit like 38 on the charts, and our shows are a lot bigger, and things are going great.
What's your best tour experience yet?
We went out. We did the Gigant tour with Dave Mustaine and
nice.
with Megadeth Dream Theater. I mean, that was pretty awesome. Dave Mustaine was a cool cat, man.
I've actually met him a couple times.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was a really cool guy.
So was Dream Theater.
Yeah, they were. The Mudvayne tour was pretty amazing.
Oh, nice.
It was us, Seven Dust, Mudvayne in 10 years. It was the Masters of Horror tour. It was fucking awesome.
I used to play a couple shows with a dude from Mudvayne's brother, and they had the band Twisted Method.
Yeah. He's in Dope now.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if he's still in Dope, but he was in Dope for a long time.
This is back when they
That's how we know
Twisted
Team
Go
Cyber
in there and
guys.
ask Angel.
Yeah, that's how we know Team Cyber guys and all those guys.
Nice.
But yeah, doing our own record label thing it's a lot more work, but it's a lot more rewarding, and we have total control. We can do whatever the fuck we want, and we get to keep all the money.
Oh yeah.
And it's just been.
Well, why work for 7 to 10% when you can get 90%?
Yeah,
you know,
it's
after
like-
after expenses.
It's the most success we've had in our career to this point, and it really feels nice that we're in control. If somebody fucks up, it's our fault.
Yep.
It's not some dude with a suit and tie that thinks he knows what's fucking cool and can't play guitar. You know what I mean? It's our own thing. We get to do whatever we want, and it's really worked out for us.
How many albums do you have out total now?
I think 4 or 5 albums.
4 or 5 albums.
Yeah.
Too. Did you guys end up getting the publishing rights to all of those after?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Fuck no. They're lost and gone.
Lost, gone, done.
Yep. Somebody else owns it.
Hey.
Being that you're at this level now, what advice would you have for the bands that are still stuck in the garage?
Go to school. Start something else. No, just play. Practice. If you want to be like your heroes, man, those guys quit school and play guitar 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
It's like you can't play once a week and think that you're going to go out and kick somebody's ass on stage. It's like a basketball team. If you're going to be the best, you got to work harder than the best.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to do. And it's like, practice. Because people say, oh, the scene around here sucks. Well, it's the band's fault. When you get a bunch of bands that aren't worth a shit, why would anyone pay tickets to come see them?
Exactly.
So, it's not real hard to rise out of that. You just got to treat it like a 24-hour day. I mean, if that's really what you want to do, then you're going to have to go for it. It's hard to go for it because there's a lot of time where you're not getting paid. And I mean, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But
Well, if you're doing it, in a local band, expect to be getting paid and make a living out of it.
Right.
Do
my
something
advice
else.
to a lot of people is if you can't draw in your hometown, your band blows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, it's not a big deal to go 1,000 miles out of your hometown and nobody knows who you are. If you can't draw in your hometown, then let's go back to the drawing board.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
Speaking about hometown and all that, what advice do you have for beginning bands or people that are out on the road trying to build themselves up? What advice do you have for those guys?
Tour nonstop. Get out of your hometown. Use your hometown as a little hub to make some money, and then get blowed in another town where you're not going to make any cash, and get your name out there. Do your own records. The Pro Tools, the wave of the future is people can do records in their bedroom that sound like they spent $500,000 on them. And the key to success is to learn how to write songs.
Yeah.
It's like you can be the best player in the world if nobody wants to listen to your song, then who gives a shit? I mean, you know what I mean? Happy Birthday is one of the most famous songs in the world. Somebody wrote that off the top of their head, and it's massive, huge. And, I mean, it seems really obvious, like, okay, write great songs, but there's a science to it, and it's like, take criticism well and listen to other people that you respect and stuff, and learn how to write songs. Learn how to write that chorus that people want to hear.
Hook.
Yep, write the hooks. It's
Gotta
like
have hook. Gotta have groove.
Oh, got to. And it seems simple, but it's not. Everyone's
not.
like, well,
It's
it's
a lot
easy to write
harder
a
than
pop
it
song.
seems.
It's like, well, then everybody be pop stars.
Right?
Yeah.
If it was that easy, there'd be a bazillion people with bazillion hits. Everybody would be doing
yeah,
it.
Yeah. And that's the key, is like learn how to write songs and play and practice your ass off, because you're asking people to pay $5 to $10 at the door to come in and watch your band. And if you're just going to sit up there and scream and be out of tune, then you don't deserve. You're wasting my time as a musician, and a lot of other people that's worked really hard. They're wasting their fucking time. That's not great advice, but
I agree
It's blunt. It's blunt. That's good.
right. It's just
I
like
mean, some of these people
there's
need to
like
hear
people
the
have always
truth.
said you're never going to make it. You're never going to do anything because there's a million bands out there. Well, most of them are horrible.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, they just want the sugarcoating. Oh, you sound good. Oh,
Right,
that
dude.
sounded good out on stage.
Oh, the proof, like you said, the proof's in the pudding. When you get the hell out of town, even if you're, you know, coming from where we're from, Port Charlotte area, and you bring your happy ass up to Tampa, and you got one person standing up front, and they're kind of like, or they're the drunk up there liking anything, you know, it wouldn't matter.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that tells you something real quick.
It does, and when you get out of town and you get a little crowd, you get lucky enough to get a little crowd, and you come back and they come back, that's proof's in the pudding. If they come back to see your show and it's something worth seeing, I mean, because there are a million bands out there, and there's some really good bands out there, and it's like, if you want to compete on that level, then you have got to get your ass into the fucking studio, and you got to get your ass into the practice spot and work hard, because there's bands out there that dust your ass.
Oh yeah, like I said, following him around with Pushmar for 3 years. Came home with a stack of really good CDs. Had an equal stack next to it that sucked. You know, they were, you know, the out
That's
the
the
window
thing
down
too.
the
It's
road
like
to see it.
meeting a lot of these bands, these really, really big bands, and that have had huge success and stuff. And they're the cool people.
Yeah.
Bands that are arrogant and stupid are the shithead local bands. You know what I mean?
It's real funny you say. It's
Sometimes
real
I
funny
seem
you
to
say
find that
that.
to be
Right. You know, I can't go to practice today because my girlfriend's mad at me. It's like, well, get the fuck out of the band today. You know what I mean? Really, that's your obstacle. That's the obstacle you're not willing to leap for this dream of music. Well, get the hell out of here. But yeah, I don't know. It's like a lot of musicians out there. There's a lot of people that say they want to do it for real, but I mean, if you're gonna be in a band and really try to make it, it means when they say give up everything, that's what they mean.
Yeah.
Everything. And you know, I'm a musician. I travel and play shows. And I've been home, had jobs, and I don't like that shit at all.
How many years have you guys been touring this Bobaflex?
1998.
1998.
Yes.
Awesome.
Been together for years. And
Yeah, you guys got together when you were how old?
11.
11.
Some of-
Still together.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I mean, we've done some different things or whatever, but right around, we started Bobaflex in 1998 and had a couple lineup changes.